In the heart of America's Appalachian Mountains, nestled within the coal-dusted valleys of West Virginia, lies a town named Fayetteville, a town like any other, where the weight of history hangs thick in the air and generations live within a stone's throw of their ancestors' graves. But in the winter of 1945, something unspeakable shattered this town's uneasy peace, something that would never be forgotten. It was a crime without a name, a disappearance without a trace, a riddle buried beneath ashes and half-truths. This is the story of the Sodder children. The Sodder family was the embodiment of the American dream. George Sodder, an immigrant from Italy, and his wife Jenny, raised 10 children in a modest home on a hilltop overlooking Fayetteville. George was a self-made man, running a successful trucking business. Jenny, a devoted mother, kept the home. On Christmas Eve, December 24, 1945, the Sodder house was alive with festive cheer. Presents nestled beneath the tree, laughter echoing through the halls. 5 of the 10 Sodder children, Maurice, 14, Martha, 12, Louis, 9, Jenny, 8, and Betty, 5, begged to stay up late, eager to play with their new toys. Jenny agreed. It would be the last time she ever saw them. Around 1 a.m., Jenny was awakened by the ring of the telephone. A woman's unfamiliar voice asked for a name no one in the house knew, laughing oddly before hanging up. Jenny noticed the lights still on, the curtains open, and the door unlocked. Strange, given George's habit of securing the home. She turned them off, closed the curtains, and returned to bed. Half an hour later, she woke again, this time to the smell of smoke. Flames consumed the office, spreading rapidly. George, Jenny, and 4 of their children escaped. The other 5 were nowhere to be found. George tried desperately to save them. His ladder, always kept against the house, was missing. His trucks, meant to be used to reach the upper floors, refused to start. Neighbors called the fire department, but with a skeleton crew due to the holiday, help arrived 7 hours later. By then, the home was a smoldering ruin. In the aftermath, authorities claimed the children's remains had been cremated by the intense heat of the fire. But Jenny, having read accounts of house fires leaving bones intact, refused to believe it. She conducted private experiments, burning animal bones, and always found residue. She was convinced her children had not perished in that fire. The official explanation didn't add up. No human remains, no recognizable objects, no closure, only questions. Before the fire, odd incidents hinted at a sinister plot. A stranger appeared, asking about the home's fuse boxes, muttering this place will go up in smoke someday. A life insurance salesman threatened George after he refused to buy a policy, warning he'd pay for the dirty remarks you've made about Mussolini. On the night of the fire, someone cut the Sodders' phone line. Witnesses later claimed to have seen a man stealing a block and tackle used to remove car engines nearby. A woman said she saw the children peering from a passing car while the house burned. Another woman reported seeing them at a Charleston hotel weeks later. But none of these leads would ever be confirmed. In 1952, desperate for answers, George and Jenny erected a billboard along Route 16, displaying photos of the 5 missing children and offering a reward for information. The sign became a landmark, a testament to parental grief and small-town mystery. The words on the billboard were chilling. What was their fate? Kidnapped? Murdered? Burned? Whoever knows, please help. In 1968, over 2 decades after the fire, Jenny received an envelope postmarked from Kentucky. Inside was a photograph of a young man in his 20s, bearing a striking resemblance to her missing son, Louis. On the back was scrawled, Louis Sodder, I love brother Frankie. Ill boys. A 90132 or 35. Investigators could not trace the sender. George and Jenny hired a private detective, but he vanished without a trace. The photo was the last tangible clue. Theories abounded. Some believed the Sicilian Mafia, angered by George's anti-fascist views, kidnapped the children. Others suspected child trafficking. Certain locals whispered of a vendetta. The FBI declined to get involved, claiming it fell under local jurisdiction. The case grew colder with every passing year, yet the Sodder family never stopped searching. The remaining children carried the torch, chasing rumors, pursuing dead-end leads, and hoping for a miracle. George Sodder died in 1969. Jenny followed in 1989. They were buried beneath a headstone etched with the names of their lost children, alongside the words, "Forever in our hearts." The billboard remained until the early 1990s, a fading reminder of a mystery that time could not erase. Today, the story of the Sodder children endures, in podcasts, crime forums, documentaries, and urban legend. A mystery without end, a crime without proof, and a family's sorrow stretched across generations. Perhaps somewhere, in another life, 5 children lived out their years in anonymity. Or perhaps the truth lies buried in the ashes, forever beyond reach. But every Christmas Eve in Fayetteville, as the wind howls through the valleys, the question returns. What happened to the Sodder children, and why?